All right, so this is Mortal Kombat 2. It's directed by Simon McCoy. I don't know how to say that name, but I think that's the same director from the first movie. That first movie was years ago. What year was that? 2021. I didn't like that movie. I thought it was boring. Other than the fight scenes, yeah, it didn't really do much for me, especially like the characters and stuff. Either they were bland or annoying. but but this new one, we got Johnny Cage and we got Carl Urban playing him. I'm like, okay, from the trailer, I was like, this might actually work. In this, we finally have the actual tournament. If I remember right, it was just training for the tournament, right, and trying to kill people before they get the chance to be in the tournament and stuff like that in the first movie, which was a criticism I had. But in this, we have the actual tournament. The Earth Warriors, Earth Champions, they're down one person, so they need one more person. So they go to get Johnny Cage, played by Carl Urban. He's like this washed up action star. He used to do these action movies. Now he's not doing much since he's his career isn't going that well. Um, but he's still a martial artist, so they go to get him because he was selected to be part of the part of the tournament. But he doesn't want to be part of it, but he has no choice. He's like forced into it. Also, we have some stuff with Katana and her people who were taken over by the villain in this, Shao Kahn, and that's played by Martin Ford. So I do not think this movie was good, but I do think it was better than that first movie because mainly we have this new character who's way better than these other characters, right? The character that gave me hope from the trailer, and that's Johnny Cage. Carl Urban is great as the character. The character actually has a personality, unlike these other characters, charisma. He actually, he's funny. He's he's got an actual arc, right, where he doesn't want to be part of this, but then he gets forced into it, right, and then he almost dies, but he gets better as the movie goes on. There's all automatically tension in every fight he's in, which are the best fights in the movie, because you have these other characters that have these powers and things like that, even the Earth fighters, but he doesn't. He's just a guy. It's like right, he's like an actor, and even his acting career isn't great anymore. So it's like what is he? He's like, what am I even doing here? But he gets better and better. He has what I think is the best fight in the movie. Him fighting Baraka, where he's doing flips and everything. He's really getting into it, and obviously at some point he's got to do the splits and hit him in the balls or whatever. Yeah, he does that, and I thought that was fun too. I mean, he's easily the best part of this movie. It's not even close. The fights are still good. Some good choreography. I think they're a little too fast, some of them, but still some good choreography. I think the CGI is questionable at points, but you get the brutality of it and things like that. You get these fatalities like from the games. I remember there was somebody who got their their head sliced up, and you see their brain and slices just fall out of their head. It's like, okay, that's very Mortal Kombat, that level of gore and brutality. So, that worked. Like, there's definitely moments in this where I was like, wow, this is awesome. Right? I haven't played the games in a long time, but even from when me remembering things from the games from so long ago, I was still like, wow, this is cool. Like there was a point where Liu Kang, right, he's using fire and everything like that, which is all cool, I think, in the movie whenever he uses fire. But he makes these two flame dragons, and I'm like, oh my god, this is awesome. And so I won't lie, like there are definitely points where even I was like, wow, this is actually working for me. That being said, man, this movie, the story doesn't work. It's nonsense. The pacing is bad. It's too fast, almost like they're just trying to get it over with. It's there's parts of it that I feel like need to be explained more so you get an idea of what's actually going on here. Like I said, Johnny Cage, great. The other characters, so flat. They're so boring. Sonya Blade, Jax. I mean, I feel bad for these actors. They don't really have anything really going on with these characters, right? Like, I mean, there's so many really cheesy moments of them looking over at each other and just giving almost like trailer lines to each other, like looks like I'm next and stuff like that. Jackson's in the middle of a fight. Oh, are you gonna hate me? It's just like lines, right? They don't feel like they're actually having a conversation. They have no personality. You can't get invested in them. Katana has a lot going on. That's played by uh Adeline Rudolph. Adeline Rudolph. Uh, Her character has a lot going on. I mean, the movie starts with her and her backstory and everything. And I thought it would have been a much better idea to just have her be kind of a mysterious character, and then have her backstory be revealed in a flashback later on. Because I mean, starting off with that stuff with her backstory, it wasn't very good, right? With her whole thing with her dad and stuff like that. She has a bodyguard that's around the same age as her, so they grew up like sisters. I was like, what the hell? What? Why? And so you have that thing too. Man, these characters are weak, man. Like whenever the movie's not on Johnny Cage, it's like, man, or a fight scene's not happening. I'm like, man, I'm really bored. There's a character that comes back to life in this Kano. I hated Kano in the first movie. These other characters are so weak, and he's actually not in that much of the movie that he ended up being one of my favorite characters in this. Even though his dialogue is still terrible, even though he gets on my nerves still. Um, like I said with the first movie, he's got a personality. And he actually, when him and Johnny Cage start interacting, they actually have a good little buddy thing going on. They have nice banter, calling each other names and stuff like that. I was like, bro, I've been watching a movie just with these two because they're actually working. They're working really well together. The CGI is inconsistent. You'll get certain things like the flame dragons with Liu Kang and things like that where I'm like, wow, this looks really good. And then you'll have like the first fight. I mean, the movie starts with this with Shao Kahn, and there's a fight with him, and it's like, man, like this looks. Let me grab my controller real quick. That motherfucker, he looked fake that whole fight just about. I'm like, bruh, this does that. Come on, it has to look better than this. Also, the the villain's not much of anything really. He's just evil for evil's sake. There's a way that they can't actually kill him or whatever. There's a reason why they can't just defeat him. And so it feels like without that, he wouldn't be that much of a threat, to be honest. The whole thing with bringing Kano back to life, they bring Kano back to life because he has something they need, and it's just on him. It's like, okay, nobody searched the body before they brought him back to life, and somebody said something about that. That that doesn't make it okay. It's still stupid. Um, I haven't I haven't played these games in a long time. It's been years, and so I don't remember the lore and all this other stuff. Maybe this stuff makes sense or works, but the whole thing with all the look, it's just like the God Elders. They make the decisions for this kind of stuff, right? Oh, Shao Kahn, like he can't just go around taking over places and stuff like that because the God Elders are like, no, 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 you have to win 10 tournaments to take a place over. It's like, why does he need to do that? I could have swore in that first movie that there was some tattoo or something that Cole had like a tattoo or something. He's like a descendant of Scorpion, I think, and that's the reason why he was like part of the Earth Champions or whatever. But in this, I guess the God Elders just choose them or whatever because like they just chose the God Elders or whatever, just chose Johnny Cage, and Johnny Cage doesn't want to be part of it, and they try to, convince him and everything. He leaves, and then he just gets forced to be part of it anyway against his will. It's like, well, what was the point of just spending all that time trying to convince him? He didn't have a choice. Anyway, it's all about Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage really works in this. If you just focus solely, or at least mostly, on him and his character arc, really made that work. And then the stuff with Katana, you can have that be a flashback. You didn't really need that much stuff with Katana. It doesn't work anyway. And these other characters are nothing anyway. Just focus on Johnny Cage and really making that work, and just kind of clean up this story a little bit more, better CGI. Like this feels like it could be a good movie. It feels like a good movie trying to manifest itself, but it just gets in its own way. It is better than the first movie. I gave that trash. I didn't like that movie at all. Uh, with this, I'll give it a rental. Right, this one definitely worked better than that first movie, uh, and it's definitely more watchable. So there you go, rental. That's it. We're done.